Is this mine or yours?
That's yours. My big one is not working.
Good evening. Almost said after. It is afternoon, evening, whatever. Good, how are you?
See, that's right. I'm giving you trouble. I'm
Councilmember
punching you. I can't
Clancy?
do it from way over there. I can't do it from way over
hear me?
here.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
No, they're not hooked up yet. I'm sorry?
You know what your password is?
Because they already hooked them up to those boxes.
They were so inventive. First time. I had to remember which ones were capital, which ones were small.
Pretty early in the afternoon.
Oh, yeah, right. Go to class.
Oh, here.
Hey, how are
Say
you?
good morning.
Good morning. No, I'm not going to.
Morning.
Thought I saw you see in Mercy, so I thought on that one.
What was Mercy?
They had that ribbon cutting.
Oh, West Florissant, no,
She signs them.
didn't go to that one.
Testing, Diane,
The last one that they had something about.
can you hear me?
Councilwoman Clancy, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
We can't hear you.
Councilwoman Clancy?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
excellent. Thank you.
Meeting to order Tuesday, July 2021. The time is now 6:31 p.m. Would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, under God, indivisible, with justice for all.
Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Days.
Here.
Councilmember Dunaway.
Present.
Councilmember Fitch.
Here.
Councilmember Webb.
Present.
Councilmember Clancy.
Here.
Councilmember Tracus.
Present.
Councilmember Harder.
Present.
Madam Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you very much. The order of voting this evening will be letter B, Harder, Tracus, Clancy, Webb, Fitch, Dunaway, and Days. The journal of the meeting of, looks like July 13th is not yet been finalized, so we will move on to bid openings. We have no bid openings this evening, so we will move on to communications.
Madam Chair, we have no tax compromises or zoning matters this evening, so we will move to road and bridge matters. Under road and bridge matters, item number 1.
Receive and file, and that will be the order.
Moving to other communications. Item number 1, 7th District.
Please hold on the order of business.
Item number 1 will be held.
Item number 2, 3rd District.
Receive, file, and refer to the Special Committee on Budget Oversight.
So ordered.
Item number 3.
Receive, file, and the county council to be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation. The same motion will apply through item number 6, and that will be the order.
One moment, Madam Chair. Item number 7, 1st District.
Receive, file, and the county council to be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation, and that will be the order.
Item number 8, 4th District.
Receive, file, contract in the amount not to exceed $2,232,000, 32,800, excuse me. Receive, file, contract in an amount not to exceed $2,232,081.60 be approved and awarded to the Wagner Incorporated. The lowest responsive bidder as recommended. Authorization to make revisions to the existing traffic control devices and the appropriate transfer in the amount of $60,314.19 be approved as requested.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries.
Item number 9, 1st District.
Receive, file, and the county council to be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation, and a copy of this report be sent to the city of Kinloch. The same motion will apply to number 10, and that will be the order.
Item number 11.
Receive, file, and the county council to be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation, and that will be the order.
Moving to add-ons. Item number 1, 3rd District.
Receive, file, and the county council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation.
So ordered.
Item number 2, 4th District.
Receive, file, and the county council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation.
So ordered.
Item number 3, 4th District.
Receive, file, and refer to the committee of whole.
So ordered.
Item number 4, 5th District.
Receive, file, and the county council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation.
So ordered.
Item number 5, 7th District.
Receive, file, and the county councilor be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation.
So ordered. We have now come to the public forum of our meeting. How many speakers do we have, Madam Clerk?
Madam Chair, we have 7 speakers this evening.
When your name is called, please come forward, state your name and your zip code for the record. We will have a timer there with 3 minutes, and nearing the time that you are, that is expiring, please complete your remarks. First speaker, please.
First speaker is Zora Liggins, followed by John Deirdre.
Izora Liggins, 63121. Good evening, Executive Page, Chairwoman Days, and the entire County Council. Racism is still a healthcare crisis. At the June 1st meeting, Chairwoman Days asked for genuine, non-defensive conversation on how to move St. Louis County to a place of fairness for all of us. Accountability is the answer. Systemic racism has been my issue of concern, and it's real and exhausting. I feel educating the St. Louis County residents on the devastation racism continues to cause would be beneficial for all. Independent research reveals racism is big business. Black people who experience frequent racism are susceptible to mental and physical problems. Racism has many faces. This is not an illness that is confined within one race of people. St. Louis County has a selected group with disproportionate power to make and enforce decisions, access resources, and administer the rules, regulations, and laws. These powers have taken a serious toll on the African American community. Additional resources are needed to adequately support improving the mindset of this selected group. Giving up privilege and power is not easy. June 8th, I asked if any one of you have ever experienced racism. If none of you have ever experienced overt racism, how are you going to fix it? I invited you all to sit in on the Boeing Company versus Izora Liggins. None of you made it. As I have reported, I have no rights that the white man is bound to respect. I asked the court if I had a right to face my accuser. The court never answered. This case makes a mockery of our courts, and it is supported by no natural or human plaintiff. The crime and the illnesses are imaginary. Attorney Greg Lemley filed this frivolous case on perjured information. The court-ordered injunction has no end date, and the court gave me no avenue to correct longstanding disability problems. I am now held in contempt in order to pay the Boeing Company $3,800. And to all who know this, it is unbelievable. This entire matter on July 15th was taken under advisement. I would like to encourage the creation of a task force on racism, a well-developed ombudsman office, a legal clinic, a review of best practices regarding administrative employees and their workloads. To my knowledge, none of these suggestions have ever been explored. All of these recommendations are simple, and the funds from the CARES Act or any other resource currently available can fund one of them. I urge this council to act and add racism to the weekly agenda so the public can participate in the discussion and follow the progress. We need you to act with urgency and accountability. Thank you.
Next speaker, John Deirdre, followed by Tom Sullivan.
Thank you, everybody, for the opportunity to speak with you tonight. I'm actually a registered pharmacist in the states of Missouri and Illinois. I've been watching, sometimes with dismay, at what's been going on with the pandemic and our response to it. And I just have a few questions that I'd like to ask when I hear that the government is talking about 12-year-olds and sometimes perhaps 2-year-olds getting basically a vaccination that's still being researched and hasn't been approved. Should my healthy teenage son be vaccinated? Why? Is that vaccine to protect him, me, or someone else? What is myocarditis? What are the odds that our children will develop it post-vaccine? How many cases of post-COVID vaccine deaths have been reported to the Federal Vaccine Adverse Reaction Supporting System? And how do these figures compare to other vaccines? How about overall adverse events? How does that figure compare? How long should I expect vaccine protection to last? Will I need a booster shot? And if so, why? Why are cases of COVID now soaring in countries that have vaccinated nearly all their adults? And what is an emergency use authorization? How many days have passed between Pfizer's press release announcing top-line clinical trials and the granting of the use authorization? Why haven't the vaccines reached full federal approval yet? And how much money will Pfizer make from vaccine sales this year? Or Moderna? Or BioNTech? And how many vaccine billionaires have the mRNA vaccines already produced? All good questions. I would encourage us all to look for the answers before we decide to vaccinate people who are at little to no risk of getting the disease themselves. 99.99% survival rate. It is of great concern when I see headlines like this. Simone Scott, born October 7th, 2001, died June 11th, 2021. 20 years old. Medical school student, Northwestern University. There she is. Just the kind of daughter, medical student that we'd all hope for in our own families. That's the day she was accepted to Northwestern. Her second shot of the Moderna vaccine was May 1st. She collapsed on May 11th. She had a heart transplant on May 23rd. And on June 11th, her mother was preparing her funeral. I can answer a couple of the questions.
Madam Chair, that's 3 minutes.
Pardon?
No,
That's 3
Mr.
minutes.
Deirdre,
Yes.
go ahead and wrap up, please.
I'll be happy to wrap up.
Thank you.
The adverse reactions for COVID vaccines outnumber all other adverse reactions in 2019 by a factor of 7 already. The risk is high. We're risking our kids. We need these answers before we push forward with this. Thank you very much.
Next speaker, Tom Sullivan, followed by Debbie Fell.
Madam Chair and members of the council, you might have seen last week where a 19-year-old teen was killed as she was riding her bike in the traffic lane on 170 in the middle of the night. She worked at the McDonald's in Brentwood and was riding home to her apartment in University City after getting off work. She was expecting her first child in October. Of course, the young lady showed poor judgment. She rode her bike because she did not know how to drive. Also, she avoided public transit. Why? Whenever she rode it, she got harassed, according to her pastor. This is just the kind of person that public transit should serve, but so often does not. Council sends $160 million a year to Bi-State with little concern if it is meeting the needs of those that depend on public transit. The Page for Missouri Campaign Committee recently received a $2,600 contribution from the wife of Michael Niedorf, the chairman and CEO of the Centene Corporation and deputy county executive. This takes the total contribution to Sam Page from Centene and those affiliated with the company to $216,400. Centene is quite a nice company. Last month, it paid $1.25 billion to settle claims of dishonest dealings with 22 states. I hope we will see an accounting of how the $875,000 is being spent to supposedly provide incentives for people to get vaccinated. That was not thought out very well. It was done the way the council often acts: ready, fire, aim. There is still no word on the promised recreation center for North County. More than 2 years after the promise, it was supposed to be part of the deal to expand the convention center. As I said last week, I asked the Convention and Visitors Commission to provide copies of any plans for the rec center. The response, there are none. But now the council is being asked to hurry up and approve the bonds for the expansion. The council has no obligation to fund the expansion of the convention center. As I brought up at the committee meeting last year, and the attorney at the meeting agreed, the county has no obligation whatsoever to even pay for the bonds. Let those who benefit from the convention center pay for the expansion, not taxpayers. St. Louis County, and the state of Missouri have paid $720 million for the dome. None of the promises made for it were kept, yet now the county is being asked to provide $240 million to expand the boondoggle even more. Thank you for listening to my comments.
Next speaker, Debbie Fell, followed by Lou Hannibal.
Hello, my name is Debbie Field, and I live in St. Louis County, 63114. Okay. Each state of our country has a motto. The motto of a state is legally passed by their legislature to represent purpose, identity, or a general expression of their boundaries. Missouri's motto is, the welfare of the people is the highest law. The people's welfare is not filtered by the laws. Our laws are filtered by the rights of the people. A bit of history of our great state. Now, my concern is addressed to the whole council, but specifically to Councilwoman Dunaway, since I'm in your district. On February 3rd, 2021, my dog and I were victims of an unprovoked attack while walking on a public sidewalk. It broke free of its harness and tether in their front yard. And another resident's dog was also a victim of an unprovoked attack while in its own front yard by the same dog, who again broke free of its tether and attacked on their property within a 9-month period. The injuries to my dog were extensive, costing $450 in vet bills. Since then, my husband and I have spent countless hours writing emails, time making phone calls to animal control, the vet, and then your assistant, Marilyn Beck, to safeguard residents from future attacks by dangerous dogs. Then through my own research, I was shocked to find St. Louis County Ordinance 611040 allows a dog to bite, attack 3 times before it is deemed dangerous. 3 times. That isn't for the welfare of the people. And when it is deemed dangerous, then and only then, more responsibility is enforced on the owner of the attacking dog to safeguard residents around them with fencing, enclosures, etc. At this time, the owners of the attacking dog still haven't installed any safety measures. After over 5 months since the attack on my dog, I've not seen any changes in this alarming ordinance. Every resident I've talked to is also shocked to know this ordinance is still in place. I appreciate you, Councilwoman Dunaway, for taking this position you now hold to make sure the welfare of your constituents are enforced properly and speedily, and I need to know what your plan of action is. Your assistant told me on March 8th, 2021, you've been given all the information from the February attack, as well as all my suggestions for change for the safety of your constituents. Please acknowledge all my suggestions sent to you on March 8th and make safe and logical changes needed for the welfare of your constituents. Mainly the change of the ordinance allowing 3 bites/attacks to 1 bite/attack, then the dog is deemed dangerous. You have all my information, including my phone number. I look forward to your call and your action taken for the logical change needed. Thank you.
Next speaker, Lou Hannibal, followed by Kelly McGowan.
Lou Hannibal, I live in 63033. I appreciate this time. My question has to do with, we are finding more and more adverse effects from this vaccine. One that bothered me the most was this thing where 25 times more likely for a college student to have an enlarged heart if they take this vaccine. Now, is the county going to require anyone to take this vaccine? And if they do, does the county incur any legal responsibility? I mean, are you open to if you require them to take this vaccine, are you open to a class action suit? And have you looked at this whenever you pass any of these things? One other thing that I would like to point out, as the other gentleman, the pharmacist, there's no real open discussion anywhere of the vaccine and what it's doing to people and opening it up. We have to have, for things to function, you've got to have a free exchange of information. And we are not having a free information exchange with this vaccine. That is the big problem that we're having. Everybody has got to be able to point out the things that the pharmacist just pointed out and other people have had bad experiences. The wife of a friend of mine took the shot and died of a blood clot shortly after. There's more going on here and nobody is allowed to say it. Thank you.
Next speaker, Kelly McGowan, followed by Josh Schur.
I'm Kelly McGowan and my zip code is 63108. Good evening. I'm speaking as a health equity advocate and the director of Built Environment Advocacy for the entity Evolve, which is an acronym for Elevating Voices of Leaders Vying for Equity. In this role, I work alongside the community, making sure they are included in the processes that shape how their communities are designed. Last summer, this legislative body passed resolutions declaring racism a public health crisis and supporting equitable policies that prioritize the health of all people, especially African Americans. This is a great step in the right direction, but how does this translate into action? One pressing issue for North County residents, which I have spoken about for weeks, is the overabundance of liquor stores and other businesses that provide alcohol for off-site consumption in their communities. This is problematic as high liquor store density is associated with various adverse outcomes, including those related to increases in crime. Evolve's North County Action Team, which is a collective of community members working towards the creation of a thriving North County, has started a petition. The petition specifically calls on this legislative body to monitor the density of businesses where alcohol is purchased and consumed off-site. In addition, we are calling on this legislative body to consider this density prior to issuing new liquor licenses for similar businesses. We believe these actions will curb the proliferation of these businesses in North County. During an event in Spanish Lake on Saturday, residents obtained 57 signatures contributing to Evolve's growing petition among St. Louis County residents tired of North County communities being over-concentrated with liquor stores and establishments that sell alcohol for off-site consumption. These signatures have been emailed to each of you. The location of where these signatures were obtained is important to note, as yet another business is looking to obtain an original package and Sunday original package liquor license in Spanish Lake. Spanish Lake residents are tired of the oversaturation of businesses that do nothing but devalue their community. When North County wins, St. Louis County wins. This winning strategy does not include an overabundance of liquor stores. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight and hope we can collaborate to make this happen.
Final speaker, Josh Scher.
Josh Scher, 63011. As of July 16th, the VAERS data reporting system, as well as the CDC, confirmed nearly 11,000 deaths and 463,000 reports of adverse reactions, including 48,000 serious injuries between December 14th and July 9th, 2021. Just last week, there were 2,092 COVID vaccination deaths reported in the U.S. In comparison, there were 1,918 deaths related to the virus. That means there were 174 more COVID vaccine deaths than deaths from the virus last week. It is a fact that the number of deaths linked to the vaccine has skyrocketed this year. In any other point in our history, this vaccine would have been recalled months ago. Yet Sam Page and the members of this council and the county health department continue to coerce its citizens and spew misinformation about its safety and effectiveness, something I soon hope is criminally offensive. Why does the government care so much that we all take a vaccine for a virus with a 99.8% survival rate, plus other known treatments like hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin, vitamin D, and others? Not to mention, if you've had the vaccine, then you should be safe, right? And if you're not safe after taking the vaccine, then what's the point? All your propaganda, social media posts, TV ads, gift cards, and other incentives not only reeks of desperation, it's just plain weird and creepy at this point. Maybe instead of hiring more lawyers, you should have invested in some marketing gurus. Shalonda Webb and Rita Days, you need to stop disparaging your constituents. These are smart people who come here week after week asking, begging for help in their communities. I've heard them ask for help because there are too many liquor stores, not enough healthy food options in their grocery stores, and no place for young kids to go play and escape the violence and drugs in the streets. Yet to my knowledge, nothing is being done. If you really believe in equality, then act on getting the help these people need. If you really believe in equality, then you will take down the sign in front of this building that embraces a racist and Marxist culture that is counterproductive to the values we all hold in this country. Per the co-founder of BLM, and I quote, "We are trained Marxists." By displaying their sign out front, is this council saying you agree with Marxist ideologies? By its very definition, Marxism supports class struggle. Actions speak louder than words, and by this council repeatedly ignoring its constituents' pleas for help and equality, it does appear that your actions align quite well with Marxist ideologies. It's disgraceful, and I hope the people of this county wake the hell up and start pushing back against these ideologies that only benefit this council and your cronies. Thank you.
That concludes our public forum. We will now move to the report from the county executive.
Good evening, everyone. Yesterday, St. Louis County began its back-to-school immunization program. This year, there's one notable addition: an opportunity to get a free COVID-19 shot for any student 12 years and older. Parents and guardians can also get a free shot. Our kids are going back into the classroom next month, and we need to do all we can to prepare them. And that's why we're making the COVID vaccine available at all of our county health clinics. The immunization vaccine program will be available from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, all the way through September 17th. We must pull out all the stops to get as many people vaccinated as possible, as soon as possible. And we're going to do all that we can to eliminate barriers and use as many resources as necessary to get our residents vaccinated so everyone can move safely throughout the community. Our Department of Public Health has put together a comprehensive community outreach program. A big part of that outreach effort includes forging partnerships with our most vulnerable communities. Last week, I announced a new initiative working with barbershops and beauty salons in North County. This has garnered national attention for the health department's innovative efforts. We know that barbershops and beauty salons are trusted partners in many places in our community, places where people go not only to take care of their hair, but also to get caught up on current events and other issues. And we believe that vaccination should be a part of those discussions. The health department has worked with barbershops and beauty salons in the past on other health initiatives, such as diabetes and heart disease. These shops have proven to be great partners in getting information deep into our community. Yesterday, the health department held an informational meeting in Delwood with barbershop and beauty salon owners. The health department's goal is to enlist at least 50 businesses to help us get the word out that vaccines are safe, effective, and free. And beauty salons and barbershops will continue to sign on, and we'll continue to provide posters, flyers, and other materials so that shop owners can use this to talk to their clients about getting a COVID-19 vaccine. Some of the lowest vaccination rates in our country are in the African-American communities. These business owners serve as ambassadors, trusted voices, and information providers to the community, lending their voices to the urgent message of getting a vaccine to keep people safe, to keep our small businesses open, and to get our children back into the classroom safely is going to make a big difference. Vaccines allow our children to return safely to the classroom. Vaccines allow us to return safely to our offices. And vaccines allow us to avoid serious illness and death from this virus. So if you haven't gotten your vaccine, know that it's never been easier to get one. We have a listing of all the places that you can get vaccinated at our website at stlcorona.com. Just click on the vaccine tab. Or if you don't have access to the internet or easy access to the internet, you can call us at 314-615-2660. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to introduction of bills.
Bill number 191, introduced by Councilmember Days, an ordinance amending Chapter 107, Title 1, St. Louis County Revised Ordinances, 1974, as amended, purchasing, by repealing and reenacting Section 107.071 pertaining to the submission of minority and women-owned business enterprise, MWBE, utilization plans. Bill number 192, introduced by Councilmember Tracus, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to execute an access agreement with the United States of America pertaining to a 33.64 acre tract of land located in Sylvan Springs Park, and authorizing the Director of the Department of Parks and Recreation to execute necessary documents. Bill number 193, introduced by Councilmember Days, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to accept 4 grants in a combined amount of up to $696,632.33 from the Missouri Department of Transportation Highway Safety Division, with the funds from 2 of the grants being subject to matching requirements, appropriating the same for support of various enforcement units within the Department of Police, and authorizing the Superintendent of Police to execute necessary documents. Bill number 194, introduced by Councilmember Days, an ordinance appropriating and setting apart the sum of $200,000 from the unappropriated balance of the general fund for support of expenses related to additional hearing officers of the boards of equalization. Bill number 195, introduced by Councilmember Harder, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to grant a permanent easement on, over, and under a tract of county-owned land located at Spirit of St. Louis Airport to Spire, Missouri, Inc., appropriating funds received as compensation for the granting of said easement, and authorizing the county executive and director of aviation to execute necessary documents. Bill number 196, introduced by Councilmembers Dunaway and Days, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to execute a contract with H.R. Green, Inc. for consulting engineering services related to the Lackland Road resurfacing project, AR-1565, the Olive Boulevard resurfacing project, AR-1822, and the Woodson Road resurfacing project, AR-1828, and authorizing the Director of Transportation and Public Works to execute necessary documents and revisions to the schedule of work activities. Bill number 197, introduced by Councilmember Dunaway, an ordinance declaring the public necessity of and providing for the opening, widening, and establishing of a section of public road designated as Bennington Place, McKelvey Road, and Ameling Road, lying wholly within the city of Maryland Heights, St. Louis County, Missouri, directing the acquisition of real property therefore, and authorizing the execution of contracts, agreements, and related documents, AR-1680. Bill number 198, introduced by Councilmembers Fitch and Harder, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to execute a contract with H.R. Green, Inc. for consulting engineering services related to the Sulphur Spring Road resurfacing project, and authorizing the Director of Transportation and Public Works to execute necessary documents and revisions to the schedule of work activities, AR-1826. Bill number 199, introduced by Councilmember Webb, an ordinance amending Title 12, St. Louis County Revised Ordinances 1974 as amended Traffic Code by enacting and adding 1 new provision to Schedule 9. Bill number 200, introduced by Councilmember Webb, an ordinance declaring the public necessity of and providing for the opening, widening, and establishing of a section of public road designated as Washington Street, lying wholly within the city of Florissant, St. Louis County, Missouri, directing the acquisition of real property therefore, and authorizing the execution of contracts, agreements, and related documents, AR-1719. Bill number 201, introduced by Councilmember Days, an ordinance authorizing and directing the issuance, sale, and delivery of special obligation bonds, Convention Center, Series 2021C of St. Louis County, Missouri, prescribing the forms and details of the bonds and authorizing certain other documents and actions in connection therewith. Bill number 202, introduced by Councilmember Clancy, an ordinance appropriating and setting apart the sum of up to $1,728,900 from the unappropriated balance of the ARPA account in support of a temporary $2 per hour premium pay increase for certain job classes in the Department of Justice Services, subject to approval of the temporary $2 per hour premium pay increase by the Civil Service Commission. Madam Chair, that is all of the bills.
Thank you very much. Moving on to perfection.
Bill number 20, introduced by Councilmember Harder.
Please hold Bill number 20.
Bill number 20 is held.
Bill number 32, introduced by Councilmember Tracus.
Move to hold Bill number 32.
Bill number 32 is held.
Bill number 75, introduced by Councilmember Dunaway.
Please hold Bill number 75.
Bill number 75 is held.
Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 77, introduced by Councilmember Clancy.
Please hold. Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 77.
Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 77 is held.
Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 88, introduced by Councilmember Clancy.
Please hold.
Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 88 is held.
Bill number 139, introduced by Councilmember Days.
I move to hold Bill number 139. Bill number 139 is held.
Bill number 156, introduced by Councilmember Clancy.
I move to hold Bill number 156.
Bill number 156 is held.
Bill number 177, introduced by Councilmember Dunaway.
I move to perfect Bill number 177.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Bill number 177 is perfected.
Bill number 178, introduced by Councilmember Days.
I move to perfect Bill number 178. Is there a second?
Second, Webb.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those
Aye.
opposed, no. Motion carries. Bill number 178 is perfected.
Bill number 179, introduced by Councilmember Days.
I move to perfect Bill number 179. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Bill number 179 is perfected.
Bill number 180, introduced by Councilmember Days.
I move to perfect Bill number 180. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those
Aye.
opposed, no. Motion carries. Bill number 180 is perfected.
Bill number 181, introduced by Councilmember Days.
I move to perfect Bill number 181. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those
Aye.
opposed, no. Motion carries. Bill number 181 is perfected.
Bill number 182, introduced by Councilmember Tracus.
Move to perfect Bill number 182.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed,
Aye.
no. Motion carries. Bill number 182 is perfected.
Bill number 183, introduced by Councilmember Days.
I move to perfect Bill number 183. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed,
Aye.
no. Motion carries. Bill number 183 is perfected.
Bill number 184, introduced by Councilmember Days.
I move to perfect Bill number 184. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Bill number 184 is perfected.
Bill number 185, introduced by Councilmember Days.
I move to perfect Bill number 185. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Bill number 185 is perfected.
Bill number 186, introduced by Councilmember Days.
I move to perfect Bill number 186. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Bill number 186 is perfected.
Bill number 187, introduced by Councilmember Days.
I move to perfect Bill number 187. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those
Aye.
opposed, no. Motion carries. Bill number 187 is perfected.
Bill number 188, introduced by Councilmember Days.
Bill number I move to perfect Bill number 188. Is there a second? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those
Aye.
opposed, no. Motion carries. Bill number 188 is perfected.
Bill number 189, introduced by Councilmember Tracus.
Move to perfect Bill number 189.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those
Aye.
opposed, no. Motion carries. Bill number 189 is perfected.
Bill number 190, introduced by Councilmember Tracus.
Move to perfect Bill number 190.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Bill number 190 is perfected. Moving on to final passage.
Bill number 320, introduced by Councilmember Clancy.
I move to hold Bill number 320.
Bill number 320 is held.
Bill number 14, introduced by Councilmembers Tracus, Days, Dunaway, Fitch, Walton Gray, Clancy, and Harder.
Move to hold Bill number 14, please.
Bill number 14 is held.
Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 76, introduced by Councilmembers Dunaway and Harder.
I move to hold substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 76.
Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 76 is held.
Bill number 174, introduced by Councilmember Days.
I move for final passage of Bill number 174. Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus.
Aye.
Councilmember Clancy.
Aye.
Councilmember Webb.
Aye.
Councilmember Fitch.
Aye.
Councilmember Dunaway.
Aye.
Councilmember Days.
Aye.
Madam Chair, on Bill number 174, there are 7 ayes.
Bill number 174 is finally passed.
Bill number 175, introduced by Councilmember Days.
I move for final passage. I move for final passage of Bill number 175. Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus.
Aye.
Councilmember Clancy.
Aye.
Councilmember Webb.
Aye.
Councilmember Fitch.
Aye.
Councilmember Dunaway.
Aye.
Councilmember Days.
Aye.
Madam Chair, on Bill number 175, there are 7 ayes.
Bill number 175 is finally passed.
Bill number 176, introduced by Councilmember Days.
I move for final passage of Bill number 176. Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus.
Aye.
Councilmember Clancy.
Aye.
Councilmember Webb.
Aye.
Councilmember Fitch.
Aye.
Councilmember Dunaway.
Aye.
Councilmember Days.
Aye.
Madam Chair, on Bill number 176, there are 7 ayes.
Bill number 176 is finally passed. Moving on to resolutions.
Madam Chair, we have 4 resolutions this evening. Resolution number 1, introduced by Council Members Days, Webb, and Dunaway.
Please read the resolution.
Yes, ma'am. Resolution. Whereas Representative Betty L. Thompson was born Betty Lou Bolden in a small town in Mississippi in 1939, one of 13 children of Lubertha Bolden and William Sam Bolden, Sr., and moved to St. Louis with her family when she was still a baby. And whereas Representative Betty L. Thompson passed away on July 11th, 2021, and whereas in the years between, Representative Betty L. Thompson lived an unparalleled and trailblazing life of empathy, service, leadership, and relentless advocacy. And whereas Representative Betty L. Thompson graduated from Sumner High School in 1958 and attended Harris Stowe State University and Washington University in St. Louis, earning certificates in business and management. And whereas Representative Betty L. Thompson went on to work at the Human Development Corporation and served as the first African-American on the University City Council and did so for 18 years. And whereas Representative Betty L. Thompson was motivated to seek office after her request to build a swimming pool in her backyard was met with negative comments about her perceived ability to afford a pool. And whereas Representative Betty L. Thompson served 4 terms as a Missouri State Representative from 1997 until 2004, and befriended many of her legislative colleagues during travel to and from Jefferson City over the years, worked for St. Louis County government for 6 years, and hosted a public service radio program for 25 years. And whereas Representative Betty L. Thompson was a trusted ally and confidant of the late county executive, George Buzz Westfall, who was elected 4 times with the overwhelming approval of the African-American community. And whereas Representative Betty L. Thompson's early lessons in planning and organizing came while attending meetings with her father, who was part of a Pruitt-Igoe Citizens Patrol group, and she called on those early lessons throughout her life each time she saw a person or a community in need or became aware of an injustice. And whereas Representative Betty L. Thompson was a consistent thorn in the side of the unrighteous, and throughout her life, she acted decisively and courageously to address the needs of the community and fight discrimination wherever it was found. And whereas Representative Betty L. Thompson's legacy will live on for generations to come. Now therefore be it resolved by the County Council of St. Louis County, Missouri as follows. Section 1, the County Council mourns the loss of Representative Betty L. Thompson and extends its deepest condolences to her family, friends, and colleagues, and all who have been touched and inspired by her. Section 2, the administrative director shall send a certified copy of this resolution to Representative Betty L. Thompson's family.
Thank you very much. I move for the adoption of resolution number 1. Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus.
Aye.
Councilmember Clancy.
Aye.
Councilmember Webb.
Aye, Madam Chair.
Yes.
I just want to acknowledge Ms. Thompson, Representative Thompson. She lived in our district and she was one of the first giants that I met coming into public service as well. First to give me an award, and acknowledge my service for North County and District 4. And I'm just so moved because within the last 2 weeks, we've lost great giants in our community. And that just makes sure, that opens up the path that we need to step up for our community and serve them with sincerity and integrity and with the level of excellence. And that is what I aspire to do, just as Ms. Thompson has done for us. So thank you, Madam Chair.
And your vote is?
Aye, I said at the beginning.
Councilmember Fitch.
If I could ask the sponsor if I could be added as a co-sponsor, I'd appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And my vote is aye.
Councilmember Dunaway.
Aye.
Councilmember Days.
Aye.
Madam Chair, on resolution number 1, there are 7 ayes.
Motion carries. Resolution number 1 is adopted.
Resolution number 2, introduced by Councilmembers Fitch and Dunaway.
Madam Chair, this is a resolution honoring Bridgeton Police Chief Don Hood. He's going to be retiring after 44 years of service, and I will read it in its entirety on the 30th at his retirement celebration. So I will go ahead and make the motion that we adopt this resolution.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus.
Aye.
Councilmember Clancy.
Aye.
Councilmember Webb.
Aye.
Councilmember Fitch.
Aye.
Councilmember Dunaway.
Aye.
Councilmember Days.
Aye.
Madam Chair, on resolution number 2, there are 7 ayes.
Thank you. Motion carries. Resolution number 2 is adopted.
Resolution number 3, introduced by Councilmember Days.
Please hold the resolution on the order of business.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
if I may,
certainly.
thank you. I believe this resolution is in conjunction with Bill number 201, which is the Convention Center bonds. And given the history as articulated by Mr. Sullivan tonight and on other occasions, and the fact that the promised center in North County has not been constructed, and that there's been repeated representations of a study or report being prepared at the behest of the Convention Center, I request that we hold a committee of the whole before moving on this resolution or Bill number 201 next week, so that we can hear directly from Ms. Radcliffe, the director of the Convention and Visitors Bureau, as to what the status is on this study with respect to the center in North County and why it hasn't progressed any further than it has. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Councilman Tracus. I was expecting some kind of communication from Kitty Radcliffe. Have not heard that, have not heard anything from her. So it was my intention to do exactly as you
Thank
had
you.
suggested. So I do appreciate that.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
And resolution number 3, introduced by Councilmember Harder.
There's 2 on the list here. Which one are you referring to? The resolution to coordinate the serving of subpoenas? Is that the one you're, okay, I'd like to hold that for now.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Certainly.
Thank you.
Councilman Tracus.
Yes, the resolution that Mr. Harder just held, and he was wise to do so, has to do with the issuance of subpoenas in connection with the investigation into the county executive, violating the county charter, and specifically to obtain documents and testimony from Mercy Hospital and Western Anesthesiology. Madam Chair and members of the council, on at least 3 prior occasions, July 13th, July 15th, and today, the county councilor has conveyed to Mr. Harder directly
the request that we hold a committee of the whole and go into closed session so that we can be briefed in full and comprehensively by the counselor's office with respect to the legitimacy and legality of these subpoenas. I reiterate my request from last week that we do exactly that, and that is schedule a committee of the whole so that we can go into closed session, and be briefed by the counselor's office. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, moving on to unfinished business.
Yes, that was all the resolutions?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Moving on to unfinished business.
Item number 1.
Please hold on the order of business. And that will be the order.
Item number 2, 7th District.
Please hold on the order of business.
So ordered.
Item number 3.
Hold on the order of business, and that will be the order.
Item number 4.
Hold on the order of business, and that will be the order.
Item number 5, 4th District.
Hold on the order of business.
So ordered.
Item number 6, 4th District.
The change of managing officer be approved as requested.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye. Those opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. The change of order is permitted.
Item number 7, 4th District.
Hold on the order of business.
So ordered.
Item number 8, 6th District.
The new liquor license be approved as requested.
Is
please.
there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Aye.
No. Motion carries. The new liquor license is approved.
Item number 9.
Please hold on the order of business, and that will be the order. New
Moving-
business.
Yes, ma'am. We have 2 prepared orders this evening. Prepared order number 1 is in the matter of communications from Greg Tartar, Director of Procurement, and Jennifer Keating, Acting Director of Administration, requesting authorization to dispose of certain personal property.
I move for adoption of order number 1.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those
Aye.
opposed, no. Motion carries. Order number 1 is adopted.
Madam Chair, prepared order number 2 is in the matter of donation of 2 law enforcement radar systems for the police department.
I move for adoption of order number 2.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Order number 2 is adopted. Any further business to come before the council this evening? Any announcements? Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those
Aye.
opposed, no. Motion is adjourned. Everyone enjoy your evening.